Hello and welcome to the Recon Cast, a weekly topic-based podcast show that is recorded in one go and split up into 3 topics and posted Tuesday through Thursday, with a compilation going up on the Friday. We'll be featuring myself and one, if not both, of my sisters, Louise and Vanessa, and within which we're going to discuss all sorts of things from games, movies, TV, popular culture, to the sort of silly stuff you might talk about with your mates, like zombies or time travel and such shenanigans. So, if that sounds like your sort of thing, then sit back and enjoy. And as a side note, the new segment from the pilot episode has been set aside as a standalone video that will be released on a Friday or Saturday, and that will be done solo, as well as being quicker, more concise and featuring more news. Anywho, that's enough housekeeping. Without any further ado, let's do it to it. Okay, so topic 1. What are some hidden or forgotten gems in terms of games that you feel most people overlook or haven't heard of? I previously discussed one of mine being Megalomania, known as Tyrants Fight Through Time in the US. Another game that comes to mind is the original Jake-Cocoon on PS1. So what are some hidden gems that come to mind for you? So anybody want to take this? Any thoughts?
I got to admit with Jake-Cocoon, actually, I completely forgot about it myself and actually really enjoyed it.
I think that's definitely one that is underrated and forgotten.
Jake-Cocoon 1. Jake-Cocoon 2 was poor.
Yeah, well, I wouldn't say it was poor. It was just, it had to live up to Jake-Cocoon 1, and it was just such a superior game. If Jake-Cocoon 2 had come out first, you probably have a different, thought about it,
Yeah.
But,
I guess so. But the monsters didn't change. That was heartbreaking.
Yeah. I mean, I should probably explain, Jake-Cocoon is kind of like a mix between Ico, Pokemon. and Resident Evil or Onimusha. That because it had that sort of like isometric view where you'd like run across the screen and then the angles would change, that sort of stuff. So, but yeah, it was really cool. Like I liked how merging the monsters, and then because to go into certain areas you just weren't tough enough, so you had to build up your monster and angle them down like a certain element, because there was like fire, wind, earth, all that sort of stuff, and you had to angle it down these sorts of elements to take down specific enemies and stuff, and you could build loads of different monsters. So I really loved that game.
The beauty of that one was that they truly did merge together as well. Sometimes you'd end up with a beautiful beast, and sometimes you'd look like you had a jacket potato on legs.
Yeah, some of them just looked terrible, didn't they? But it was kind of cool. I don't know if it was procedurally
that was the beauty.
Generated.
Yeah.
But they seemed very different. It's rare that you come across you do some and they're the same sort of monster once you finish. They all look different.
It had a lot of room for making it unique. Definitely, good game.
Yeah, I love that game. It's totally forgotten about though. I think only the people that have played it, know. But that's a game. Sadly, I doubt will come back. Maybe one day. You can never say never, but I don't think enough people know about it. But that is a dope game. I love that game. That's really good. So. Anybody got any other thoughts? I've got a few here if you want me to go through them.
I would like to talk about Dino Crisis.
Ah, good shout.
Talk about dinosaurs.
Good shout.
What an awesome game! It was this kind of sister to Resident Evil.
Yeah.
And they came out at the same time. It's quite a different element with dinosaurs, but that was sweet.
It took the survival horror bit away from it, but it was really cool because it was kind of like, imagine Jurassic Park and Resident Evil just smashed into each other, and that's what it was. And you were dropped in the middle of Jurassic Park, and you had to sort of work your way through it. It was really cool.
Obviously, Resident Evil caught on. It was amazing, but I miss a bit of dinosaur action.
I think the problem with that game is going forward is, once you take it out of that isometric viewpoint from Resident Evil, it sort of hurt it quite a lot. It couldn't really transfer over to a regular third-person adventure sort of game. It just didn't really work, did it? Because they tried to do it later. I think they did one in space or something stupid. But yeah.
I think it was even in Dino Crisis they went to the future. I believe.
Yeah. I mean, it was always a bit silly, but space is perhaps a step too far for a dinosaur game. So, do you
That was
want me
pretty
to?
cool.
Do you want me to go through a few?
Sure.
I've got 3 here. I thought of Comic Zone. I don't know how familiar either of you are. I think
Not
it,
a fan.
Really?
it was a bit difficult, but it was like a completely for that era, for the Genesis Mega Drive era. Like, it was a really well made game. It's like beautiful. I replayed it a while ago for a top 10 Genesis game. 'Cause I played it back in the day, but I hadn't really forgotten about it. I mean, I had forgotten about it. And it was amazing how good it was, how well it stood up. It was a bit tricky, but that's sort of a sign of the times. It's like, it's your typical sort of side-scrolling beat-em-up thing, but the twist is you're in a comic book, so you have to like jump through the pages and the boxes. You know how comic books separate by boxes, so you'd have to like jump through the boxes and you'd follow through the story of like the comic book to a degree. And I think that one's really cool and forgotten about.
Certainly unique.
Yeah, it was a unique take on it and just forgotten because I think it came out after the PlayStation 1 had launched, so it was kind of like everybody was onto that new shiny, next thing. So
Cool.
another one is Shadow Hearts. I know Lou loves this one, and I think you introduced it to me, didn't
I
you?
love Shadow Hearts. It's so creepy.
It's so good. It's so
I've got that.
creepy.
It's so creepy.
Yeah, like, what about Geppetto?
Oh.
He was such a widow. We used to call him
Geppetto.
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 It was such a fucking creepy
with
dude.
his disturbing little wooden dolly.
Yeah, he loved his little girl dolls. It was creepy. He was a creepy fucker. But the game as a whole was cool. It had these like little weird elements that just
Everything about it was sinister. In the menu screens, it was amazing. If you looked at the bestiary, it would tell you the story of each monster and how they'd come to a terrible end by being murdered or drowned, or and how each beast came to be. But it was beautiful. Even the items had a piece of artwork for them.
Yeah.
It was really attention to detail.
If people don't know, it's an RPG, and what I would say is the bits that we're speaking about, the aspects that we're speaking about, think Final Fantasy VII Honeybee Club, but perhaps with a little bit more malice or sinister. And malice was the thing that was his superpower. When he got all like twisted and angry, he could turn into a demon and stuff. So
I'd have to say it's kind of Final Fantasy meets Silent Hill in the style of it.
I wouldn't go that far, but to a degree, yeah.
Hang on. The very first mission was you got trapped in a village of cannibal ghosts.
Oh yeah, that mission.
Yeah.
I remember that was a good mission.
So there's a little bit of that about it, and in the monster design too. It is a creepy RPG and one of my all-time faves.
I think the battle system works really well as well because whereas it's not purely menu based, it's like action sequence. Like there's this spinning wheel and you have to click it on the thing, sort of like similar to some sort of like golf games or stuff like that. And you have to click the point in the wheel at the right time to get the attack. And once you get all of them, you get a chain attack, like a more super attack. And then there's critical points on it. So for people who don't want to dig deep into the menu systems. They can really get something out of it because it's like an immediate hit these buttons and get an attack sort of thing. So I thought that was really cool.
It's not the sort of game you can relax on though. I've found when I get a bit sleepy, things go terribly wrong.
You can't
when you're not paying attention.
You can't switch off and autoplay, can you? So
no.
But some of the things I thought was really cool. I like how I think it's the second one. There's that dude, and his weapon is always like this bizarre, like he's got like a mini skyscraper that's got all shrunken people in them, and then he fights with like a submarine. This is his weapon. He's got like a little submarine again that's like shrunk or something, and it's got all people in them, and they're all like trying to help him out, like, oh yes sir, get him, and all that sort of stuff. All these little miniature people in these. It was weird, but brilliant.
Takes anything that he fancies from the environment and turns it into a weapon. I like the giant stuffed fish.
Yeah, they were always great, and I was really proud of being able to, that bit where you have to like transport to the moon, and you're on that time wheel, you have to hit it like something like 15 times. I was really proud.
10 spins. With the needle getting faster and faster every time.
Yeah, it was really difficult, but I did that at least twice, I think, which I was quite proud of. So I thought that was pretty cool. But yeah, that's a good one. Another game I thought of is Tenchu. Tenchu just completely dropped off it after the PS2 era. I think that for me is the best stealth game ever. I love Metal Gear Solid, don't get me wrong, Metal Gear Solid 1 specifically, but Tenchu for me is the best stealth game. What I used to love about that game is going up as high as I possibly could, and because I played it so much, I sort of knew the patterns of the guards, and in Tenchu 1 you could go up so high you couldn't see anything, it would just be black, and then I'd jump off and it'd take about 10 seconds maybe of me falling through the air, and then I'd slice with my sword at the perfect time and get that kill. Loved that shit, man. Loved it. It was good stuff. But you played Tenchu a bit. Did you like that game, Lou?
I like Tenchu. I only really played the first one to any lengths.
You played the second one, didn't you?
It was...
The one where you could build your own maps. You played that one, didn't you?
Maybe a little. I liked it, and I think the only kind of comparative game in the same strategy is Hitman now.
Yeah,
the essence of it is a lot like Hitman.
It doesn't play like Hitman, but the idea of it.
You would literally have to, if you wanted to do well, you would have to scope out your levels and think out a strategy.
Learn the patterns of the guards, stuff like that. It was really...
There were some weapons too. Who doesn't love a bit of blowpipe?
Yeah, and poisoned rice. Poisoned rice was always the weirdest. You throw it out, and guards would just go, ooh! A rice ball on the ground in some pile of mud.
Be warned.
Oh, it's poison.
That's a life lesson, isn't it? Food on the ground.
Don't eat poison rice balls.
No.
Yeah.
I remember that game. I was obviously younger than you guys, so I always used to be like the annoying little sister that wanted to play and like wasn't allowed to, and got like banished from the room. You play
like younger games like Spyro and stuff, but that was always a good excuse for me to be like, play Spyro to my mates, and then go home and play like Spyro 2.
You nicked my Spyro off me.
Only for a while. I borrowed it.
You nicked it off a small child.
I didn't. You'd already completed it, I think, or got bored of it, one of the two. And that was a dope game. I completed the hell out of Spyro 2 and 1. So loved that game.
Apparently,
but yeah, you were saying.
Go on.
No, you were saying about you were about to say a game or whatever.
Yeah. Well, one of the things that kind of actually you going on about Spyro and stuff is Crash Bandicoot. Crash Bandicoot is one of my favourites. I think.
Yeah, there's a lot of love for that game.
Crash Bandicoot was my first ever PlayStation 1 game. I think that's the bundle I got with the PlayStation 1 when it first came out.
Yeah, there was a big bundle for it.
Yeah. That was a pretty good one. Apparently they're making a new one this year to come out.
There
on
might
PlayStation
be.
4.
It won't be this year. It won't come out this year. There's rumours of them people working on it, but I guarantee it won't come out this year. Maybe next.
It might be 2017 then, yeah.
Maybe.
I thought that was wicked.
I never really played that game, sadly.
Huh?
I never really played Crash Bandicoot. The only Crash Bandicoot I've ever played is the Mario Kart clone. That's the only one I've ever played. I've heard good things. So.
And the other one that I was thinking of is Bomberman.
Yeah, Bomberman.
Multiplayer Bomberman.
Bomberman is such a great local multiplayer game.
With that little adapter you got to plug in your PlayStation.
Yeah, the
always arguing
adapter.
over like who got first controller and stuff. But yeah, I thought that was wicked. Many arguments over that game.
Yes, because when there's 4 people, there's always one person that gets picked on at the start, isn't there?
Every single time. And let's take a wild guess at who that was each and every single time.
you were the little sister.
That's not the same thing as being picked on.
No, that is such a lie. You used to team up against me, annihilate me, and then finish the game to yourselves.
One small downside to the Bomberman was, back in the day, the 4-way adapters were so bad.
They could get a bit sketchy.
How many times did you play and you'd start the game and someone couldn't move at all, and you have to wiggle all the adapters and
I think
reset the game?
Sometimes you'd even have your controls like backwards and stuff.
Yeah.
Oh god, yeah, I remember.
Not great.
I think that was more to do with when you got one that wasn't an official adapter. The third-party adapters seem to be like more sketchy.
Or
if you had a official PlayStation
pad?
one, they were a lot better. So
that might, yeah, I remember. But yeah, you'd start like you'd lay a bomb, then try to run away, but just be like going the direction of the bomb.
Yeah.
There's something beautiful about like simple concepts sometimes, and that's something you don't see an awful lot of anymore. That was a lot of fun, and you could spend hours with a couple of mates playing something like that.
All the different like levels and stuff and different challenges.
Simple concepts.
There's a tendency to overcomplicate these days, and sometimes
you got to think about it.
Yeah.
They're always the ones that go gangbusters, aren't they? You think about Tetris, even Minecraft. I mean, granted, it's not simple now, especially if you mess around with all that redstone malarkey. But back in the day when it first started, it was a simple concept, simple graphics. You know, build up your little thing, survive the night, all that sort of stuff. It was originally a simple idea. So you know, these simple games, they tend to fucking sell
sometimes
amazing,
that's all you
don't
want. Sometimes you just want to like, I don't know, like it might even be fun to like grab a couple of drinks, just have like a night of just messing about on simple games that cause a laugh, and you know you can pick it up and go whenever you want, rather than
these are games
dedicate to a game.
That gameplay is king, isn't it? You know, there's no story to them. It's like Rocket League. Rocket League's doing amazing. It's all about fucking gameplay, isn't it? So, you know, there's a lot to be said about a more simple game.
Did you guys ever play Rogue Trip?
Oh, is it the Twisted Metal type game?
Yeah, yes. And you get all like the weird characters in the weird cars. Like.
Yeah, that was really good.
They're all fighting over an alien tourist.
Yeah, it's weird.
Like tag.
It was a sign of the times.
You make money by carrying the tourist in your vehicle.
Yeah, like
the humour was great.
Fair.
You can kind of fight someone who's got it and bump him out. He goes up in a parachute and lands somewhere else on the map again. Something like that.
What were the characters?
There was all sorts of weird ones. There was like insane nurses.
Like a hot dog van.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking of.
And there was a hearse.
Like a murderer or something in there.
Yeah, that was probably the hearse one. Yeah, that was a cool game. Very much Sign of the Times, similar to Carmageddon in some respects, or whatever I say.
There was the lady that sent out the poodles to attack you as well.
Oh yeah, when you get your supers and the nukes would always fuck you up. Someone could launch a nuke, they'd shoot out the car and then find you and then blow you up. That would suck.
That was awesome.
No, it's a great game.
I can't think.
But sadly, a lot of these games probably won't come back. You know.
There was the weird, seductive nun.
I don't remember that.
Fat Elvis guy.
Oh yeah.
Some insane, like kind of like Murdoch, person in like an ambulance.
Yeah.
Some creepy guy with Mickey Mouse ears.
I don't remember that. I think you might be imagining some of these things.
I think you must have played it far more than we did.
It was one of my favourite games.
It was a good game.
I thought it was absolutely wicked.
Another good one for
I don't generally
screen.
like a lot of driving games, but what about a bit of Road Rash?
Yeah, Road Rash is a beast. I wouldn't say it's underrated, but I'd definitely say it's forgotten.
Forgotten?
You know.
We played the crap out of that.
Yeah, Road Rash 2
was
one.
We couldn't afford more than one game every 6 months, but...
Oh yeah, back in the day. aside from when we go to Dunkley's, there was this awesome shop down the road where it would let you trade in like pretty much any game you had for about $5 or something. And yeah, you could like just take whatever game you've got. You've got Tasmania, you know, and then you see on the shelf, oh, I'll have Road Rash. You give them Tasmania and like a $5 or something. And then, you know, you could swap out your games whenever you wanted. That was always really cool. But yeah, early on, it was a sort of, back in the day, it was like you'd have one game for like 3 to 6 months or something.
When we first had the Mega Drive, and we only had Sonic for about 7 months.
That's so long. Just Sonic.
I can still complete that game within an hour.
Oh yeah, well, I think we got our fastest time was something like 7 minutes, something like that. Yeah,
half an hour.
Like run through of the whole game, but that's because we knew it so well.
It's quite sad, but you're certainly getting your money's worth.
Yeah, definitely got our money's worth.
You couldn't save or anything, could you?
Well,
I think that's something that you find now as well, because things are so plentiful. They come out fast.
There's so much choice.
A little bit more money at your disposal. Sometimes I get rid of things before I've really given them the dues.
Yeah, you would have definitely nailed down
it.
And truly decided whether you liked it, wouldn't you?
We had no choice,
would you? Yeah.
But to play and play.
But yeah, we are kind of spoilt for choice in that degree or whatever these days. But you know, what are you gonna do? So, anywho, I thought that was a really cool topic. I thought it'd be nice to discuss some games that don't get as much love as they should do or are forgotten to some degree. So, yeah. Anywho, let's move on to the next topic. On to the next topic. Would you go into space if given the option? Say to the International Space Station or on Virgin Galactic? And as a bonus question, would you go to Mars, but you would have to live out your natural life there? So, thoughts? Anybody?
It's kind of a tricky one, I guess.
So just the space first. Would you go to space, say either on Virgin Galactic, let's say someone bought you a ticket or whatever, or you won a competition, or you...
Are we the first ones to go up?
What? No, have you ever heard of Yuri Gagarin? What the fuck do you mean are we the first ones to go
I don't mean it like that, Jesus Christ. Like, oh, for fuck.
Are you saying that the moon landing was fake?
Yes. Yeah. So you're a conspiracy theorist.
No, I meant like out of... Oh, I hate you two.
I mean,
well, there's already been people
voyage?
on Virgin Galactic as test flight.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
And
like,
there are people on the International Space Station right now, so you wouldn't be the first there either.
She means
I meant like this project. Yeah.
Yeah.
See, Lou gets me. Like that's what I meant. Like this process. This,
You wouldn't have to be. It doesn't have to be. It's like, let's say you're the 10th flight or whatever a spaceship's called. I don't know if it's still called a flight, but yeah.
The 13th flight, would you go up on?
Well, ever since I got run over on Friday the 13th, I think 13's owed me, and it's always since been my lucky number. So, So for me, 13's quite lucky now. So I probably would.
It probably wouldn't happen twice.
Well, they say that about being struck by lightning, don't they? And that's happened a few times to people.
Well, that's not true, is it? You actually, I think you might even be more likely.
It's more in the odds, not.
It all depends on like your ties. You talk about the Virgin one. That seems like it will probably be relatively safe. They'll want to perfect it. But,
yeah, well, can you imagine? No one's going to sign up if everybody dies on like the first or second flight. No one's going to sign up after that, are they?
Naturally.
So it's going to tank, so they have to make it safe. It's probably why they've took so much time with it. They've got like prototypes that they've sent up there with test pilots and whatnot, but
I think it's super duper expensive.
Oh, it is. I think it's a minimum like £100,000 minimum, I think. And it depends what you classify as going into space, because it's a suborbital flight, I think. So I don't think you fully. I think you are technically in space, but it's like you're saying, you're in quite a low orbit, so there's probably still some atmosphere, even if it's like 1% or something at where you are.
I'd go.
It's a funny thing, like we're talking about this, but in a few years' time, grannies will be nipping up there all the time.
Oh yeah. Well, I wouldn't say a few years' time, but 50 years' time, it would probably be.
To space.
It could be the same as taking a plane to America.
Cruises. It would be like,
yeah. I mean,
yeah, the space version. To be the first of anything, you've got to be quite brave. But like,
yeah, I definitely wouldn't be the first. That's crazy talk. Unless I was literally going to be like Neil Armstrong, like the first on Mars or whatever. Then, maybe. But this Virgin Galactic, I'd go probably, but only after 100 flights have already happened or something, so we know it's safe or something like that.
Or when the Sun put out vouchers to collect weekly, so you can go for $9.99.
Yeah,
but that was my point. That's what I meant earlier. Like, are we the first ones to go up? Not.
Yeah, I know. But it just sounded funny the way you said.
If you got the opportunity, I think you'd probably have to go for it. I'd say caution if you had children or like your very young children or anything like that. But
it's a chance of a lifetime to a degree.
Yeah,
I mean, perhaps less less so with Virgin Galactic, but if you got offered to go on the International Space Station, you know, that it would be a chance of a lifetime. But I get, we've discussed this before, I get motion sickness really bad. I don't know how having no gravity, you know, no access as what's up and what's down would work with me. I'd probably just be sick all the time.
And
Don't you have to...
sick ain't going to be a pretty thing in space, mate.
No, well, it might be pretty,
Blobbing
but
about
just
everywhere.
in an abstract sense.
Jackson Pollock,
Yeah. You know.
naturally.
But yeah,
Don't
how
they-
about... Sorry, carry on.
Sorry,
I don't think they'd let
don't...
you go up. He'd need a face nappy.
face snapping.
Maybe we could invent some.
I've just invented the face nappy. with
Exactly.
space
You should,
travel.
we'll trademark and patent pen this before it goes live, yeah? Before this video goes live.
There's becoming a pattern with this. Didn't we have
know.
a good idea
Just-
last time as well?
Just genius ideas, seriously. Just coming out of this.
Yeah.
If space travel becomes a serious thing, then, you know, face nappies could genuinely be a product, so, you know.
It's good to know that we're doing
Yeah.
great things and predicting
Exactly.
the
Yes.
future.
We're pushing
Yes.
forward humanity one step at a time, I think. You know, one conversation at a time. How
Baby
about
face
Mars
nappy
then?
stick.
Would you go to Mars, but you have to live there? Because there's some talk about like NASA doing projects and then private enterprise doing projects and stuff. Would you go to Mars, but you'd have to live there? Imagine that they could make it relatively
I have the
comfortable.
answer to this.
Yeah.
Right? Before you sign up for the Mars program, go to the website and have a look at some of the audition tapes, and I'll tell you why my answer is a big hell no.
Yeah.
The people that are signing up are freaks. They
Yeah,
are
but they're not-
crazy.
Those sorts of people are never going to get on it. They're going to go for, you know, fighter pilots. They're going to go for scientists, doctors. They're not going to pick, what about that weird dude over there with the fucking...
It's not Big
you know,
Brother.
with the crazy eyes. Let's
With
go
the patented
for it.
face nappy.
Yeah. He keeps trying to sell me face nappies. He's convinced
Okay, then.
that they're going to make money. But face nappies could be a big thing on Mars. Who knows?
All right then. That said, right, we get along fairly well, don't we?
Yeah.
Would you like to live in the same room for 4 years?
No.
I don't, I don't know if you'd be in the same room. It probably would be like bunks, though, wouldn't it?
It's gonna
Like
be
bunks or
titchy.
something.
I
It's
could deal
gonna
with
be small.
Louise. I could deal with Louise. I could not deal with you. Like, I don't even know if I'd last like a week with you.
No, you say that. We'd all kill each other.
I'd
be
be
like-
first.
It'd be like,
I'd
what's
be the one
that?
that snaps.
What's that film where they have to go to the sun to revitalise it? What's that film called? You know the one. Made by Danny Boyle. What's it called? You know the one I'm on about.
Obviously not.
Is it just called Sunshine?
It might be it's something like that, or yeah, something like that. Anyway, if you know what the film I'm on about, but they go where they start going insane. The closer and closer they get to the sun, it starts like affecting their brain waves or something. They start. That's how it would be. We'd all go nuts. They'd like have to come check out what happened. NASA would, you know, send a drone or something, and it'd just be like fucking shit on the walls and blood everywhere.
Shit on the wall.
And then-
That's your bedroom.
That's obviously you.
And then there'd just
obviously
be
you,
the
Nathan.
survivor sitting there rocking like, back and forth, like half naked,
So much shit.
covered in blood.
Cannot deal with so much feces.
That's what it'd be if it was us left there.
No us.
Yeah.
You.
No shit on the walls.
Yeah,
It's just you.
You'd at least pick a corner, Nathan. There's literally no reason to like spread it all over the walls. For God's
Yeah,
sake.
I'd make some sort of spinning device or something so I could spin around and just poop all over the walls. That's
Back
what you
to the
get.
abstract art.
I'd probably do it just to spite you. It'd probably be like one of you'd piss me off so bad I'd go into your room and just spin poop. That's what you get.
Oh, for God's sake.
I think the poop's important. Have you seen the Martian?
Oh yeah. That's a really good film. That.
For growing potatoes.
He has,
Don't even start.
He has to
Don't
do it in
even-
his. He has to do it with his poop because the soil on Mars isn't like fruitful enough. It's not got enough minerals and shit and vitamins and minerals and shit.
So
Literally,
he grows potatoes in shit. His own.
his own shit. Yeah, it's about survival though. You want to survive. You know, you have to eat poo
Okay.
potatoes. So
You want a jacket potato, you know. That's just the way it is.
really good film.
Gotta put a bit
It's
of
kind
an
of
added top in.
it's got quite a slow pace, but it's you know, really engaging or whatever. And,
It is very
and the
good.
stuff that, you know, the signs with it and everything's kind of cute. So yeah, anyway, back to the point. Would you? We know Louise wouldn't. What about you, V? Would you live on Mars?
If I got the opportunity to go now, I'd probably say no. But if I was older, then
Let's pretend
no.
you had no dependencies. No one was dependent upon you. Would you go live out there? Or if
Sod it,
people
yeah.
came and you'd live out there?
I reckon I would.
I think for me personally, I wouldn't, unless I was like,
They've said
if I was like 50, 55, and then it's sort of like, well, you know, you've got maybe 20, 30 years at a push, and that it's going to get progressively less and less more fun those 20 or 30 years. I'd say, yeah, fuck it, let's fly to Mars and have a pop at this.
What
they've
kind
said
of stuff
that
do
you
they have
are
up there,
going to have
though, like?
contact with your families. They've said,
Oh, yeah.
although transmissions will take like
Yeah,
quite a lot of hours, you
it's probably
can
like 2 hours or
sort
something.
of talk to
delay.
your families and leave messages, so you don't have to cut them off completely.
Yeah.
What kind of like what would the living life be like? What
You would be tricky.
day-to-day-
You'd be like a pioneer. You've got to imagine like the first, you know, English or Dutch people that went to America, to the Americas. You would be literally like building the place up from the ground up, and you probably would be doing a lot of things like farming and, you know, maintenance, a lot of stuff like that as your job.
Well, they plan to use robots to build a small base to begin with,
Yeah.
and then to have the people expand it once they're up
Yeah,
there.
there'd be a base of some point. You
They
wouldn't be the
think
first
You're
wave.
going to be in a very small living area.
You'd probably be like wave
begin
2
with.
or something, because you're not skilled as a scientist or a
I
doctor or an
can't see
engineer.
it
or
being a
anything,
good
so.
thing. This is how like friggin' horror movies come about. This is how they all start. They all go up there trying to change the world.
Is this
and
where
then
the
they all
zombies
get
come
eaten
from?
by aliens.
Does the zombie virus
oh
come
my
back?
days! What if it is? What if
Could-
it is? What
could
if they're
be.
not really going up there to like make a new world for us? They're just going up there to like safely experiment
Well,
like
what-
new T viruses.
Well,
or
no.
whatever.
What if
Maybe it's some
they
kind
go
of
up there
cult.
and they find life, and that life gets brought back, and it turns out to be the zombie virus, or like The Last of Us? What if? Could happen.
What if?
Who knows?
But no.
Nah,
I
this
think-
isn't a good idea. We should just keep things as they are. Like,
It's very experimental, though. They've said other things because they don't plan to truly colonise. They have said that there's massive dangers to, for example, having children out there. They have no
Radiation.
idea if the fetuses would develop correctly.
Is the
because
atmosphere's
let's
not
say another thing.
thick enough?
No. So they think that the children could end up weird, mutated.
It doesn't have a
No.
magnetosphere which protects it from the radiation.
And
so-
we haven't invented anything that like mimics our atmosphere, like you see in space movies.
yeah, to
This is
protect
just
us
like
from
like
radiation.
confirming my point.
It would be
this is
dangerous, but you've got to
confirming
take
my
those
What are you
first
talking
steps.
about? What are you talking
got-
about?
We
You've
are gonna
already
be the
signed
alien.
up. You said yes.
Yeah, that's
You're
true.
going.
No.
You jumped the gun before anyone else.
I think you did.
Have a nice trip,
No.
Lee.
You have
Bye.
a lovely time. And when you have your
Send us
delightful
a
spider
postcard.
babies, I'd love some photos to see how they're developing
And zombies.
after they hatch out and eat you.
Why would you say something like that? Spiders are all thing. Nah.
No, it'd be
Whatever.
fine. I think though,
What, you wanna
in
hold
real
you-
talk, we should get colonising other planets, because I worry about how long it's before we get too clever for our own, you know, shoes or whatever. How long before? I forgot what the saying was. What's the saying? Too clever for your own.
boots.
Something like that.
clever for your own
good.
I mixed
Too
the
clever
metaphors.
for your boots.
That's a good one. Oh, I'll write that one down. That's a keeper, that. Right, what was I saying? Yeah, because we've almost nearly, you know, blown ourselves up with fucking nukes and whatnot. So how long before we invent like a fucking, you know, wormhole or something and like destroy our planet, or we start working on the next new energy and like, you know, blow the place up. So and that's if we don't, you know, do something stupid like go to war with each other.
No.
So for me, I think
it's natural for us to want to spread out, and I think we will in time.
we've got all
But
our eggs in
science
one
isn't there
basket.
yet.
We got all our eggs in one basket. I would feel much more comfortable if the human race was spread out on different planets, like one on Mars. There's talks of like a floating city sort of thing on Venus. You know, like sort of like airships on Venus, because the atmosphere.
Like Cloud City.
Yeah, like
That's
Cloud
amazing.
City to a degree, probably more Zeppelin-y, but yeah, like Cloud City. Because the
Really?
atmosphere at a certain height in Venus is very similar to our own, in terms of pressures and protection from radiation and things like that. I'm not sure what the atmosphere is like. I'm pretty sure it's like sulfur or whatever. I know that it rains sulfuric acid on the surface, but higher up, in the higher points of the stratosphere, it's supposed to be quite similar to our own. So that's another possible place that we could, you know, colonize. So. But I'm a little worried that we've got all our eggs in one basket, and the reason that we haven't heard back from other alien life is because so many of us get to a point and then we get too clever for our own good and blow ourselves up, or too clever for our own boots, as one would say. So, yeah.
Yeah,
Good point.
the
How would,
aliens probably see transmissions of The Only Way is Essex and think, nah.
Yeah.
No, we ain't bothering.
What a bunch
Yeah.
of
They'll
twats.
kill themselves in enough time. It's cool.
Yeah.
We
We won't have to worry about them. So, yeah, I'd like us to, you know, spread out a little, but not all have our eggs in one basket. So,
I think it's a good point. How would like the whole like prison system work though? Would they have their own little like
Prison
space
system?
prisons?
well, you'd
Yeah,
imagine
there's
that.
going to be people that like are
break the
going
law.
to, you know.
I'd imagine
Very,
there'd be a
very
jail.
naughty.
It'd be like how it was in the Wild West or whatever. You'd probably be put in jail in your own town or whatever. So something like that. That's what I'd imagine it'd be like.
We'd be like have our own little space sheriffs and everything.
Yeah, probably. That's probably what it'd be like. You know, the sheriff of the town or whatever. It would be quite like, you know, a Wild West town or something like that. So, I mean, it makes sense, wouldn't it? That'd be cool. I'd be the sheriff of Mars. That'd be hella cool. I want that job.
With
Yes,
really
please.
clever boots.
Yeah, with my clever boots. Anyone says
With your
I'll
clever boots and your face nappy.
Oh, yeah, exactly. I'll have a side business of face nappies, and I'll have my clever boots. Anybody says, oh, they'll get a clever boot in. So, it's good stuff. Let's get this shit
Get
cracked
jiggy with it. No.
Yeah, let's not get jiggy. None of that.
No,
What is this? 1999. If you had to have been born in any time period or place other than here and now, when would it be and why? And as a bonus question, if you could visit any time period as a time traveller but didn't have to live there, when and where would you go? So, does anybody want to go first, or do you want me to go? Because I've got some ideas.
We've kind of had a little pre-talk about this,
Yeah.
and I hate to get onto a big feminist rap, but it's a bit of an ordeal for the ladies.
Here's the thing with it, though. I was thinking about it. It's pretty much a raw deal for anyone, because I think we think back, oh, wouldn't it be cool, all that history, all that good stuff. But I think we don't realise how good we've got it now. Like, you know, I probably would have been killed long ago by somebody way back when. You know, if not just for annoying them, let alone like wars
or prison.
or fucking, you know, viruses or plague or whatever. So
STIs.
But so I think we look back at it with tinted glasses to a degree. But yeah, there aren't a lot of good places for women. But you say that, you know, like you know, Cleopatra, she was the queen of Egypt, so
She died, dude.
they all died. That's what I'm talking
Horribly.
about.
Horribly.
I mean, not just because of
Horribly.
age, but you know,
How did Cleopatra die?
She
because someone
killed
came at
herself.
her. Some
really?
Cleopatra
She
coming at
killed
you.
herself with an asp with a P.
It was. I think it
A
was because
snake.
wasn't it the Romans
I have heard that. Yeah.
fought against her or something? I don't know. I'm not a history buff particularly. But.
There's a few exceptions. I think we can afford to look at it in a romantic sense and say, you know,
But there are
that
some
time
cultures.
period
That's
would
what
be
I said.
cool.
You can be at any time period and place. So there are cultures that are matriarchies, so ruled by women.
I'd probably want to give the 70s a visit. I think that would find it kind of fun.
Yeah,
All
you're
the
not
groovy
you're not
outfits and
interested
stuff.
in shaving and smoking a lot of weed. Then that's why you want to go to 70s, is it?
Well, that wasn't my first reason, but you know,
That's a good
got to
choice.
experience it. I think I'd like. I think they've got some
It's
groovy
quite
music.
groovy.
I think this. You should, if
Groovy
you're going to go
baby.
back, you should go with the 60s. At least have it, you know, the hippie age where you get off your tits on acid and free love and all that shit.
Yeah, I guess that like if I went to the 60s or maybe even like late 50s, I could kind of grow up and be of an age where I'd appreciate the 70s more.
Yeah.
And I get to experience 3 different times.
Yeah. Like that you haven't.
But you'd certainly get to see some sweet bands.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think. Yeah, I'd go with 70s.
It's got good music and lots of drugs, and STDs weren't really a thing so much. But I mean, they probably existed, but nobody knew about them. So
Nobody knew.
It was alright. It was
so
alright.
there are good points to it. But yeah, I think to a degree,
Yeah, no,
sticking close to this time period is probably not a bad call. But because you know a lot of things are good, like penicillin exists, that's a good thing. You know,
yeah,
stops
yeah.
you dying and whatnot. So.
Gotta have something to treat them STIs.
Yeah, well, yeah, I think that only
I
cures a
think
few.
you're a little
but-
obsessed.
They're
Is there
so
something
foreign.
you'd like to tell us?
They're just so foreign to me that you know
They're exotic.
I'm interested in them.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're exotic.
You'd
I
like to
can't-
catch them
Oh.
all.
Like your Pokemon.
Like Pokemon.
Aren't you the Pokemon Master, Louise?
I'm the Pokemon master. I'm not
Oh,
the
look at that
chlamydia master.
chlamydia. It's so shiny. I think it's an exotic. Let's capture it.
I've heard
Maybe not.
the blue waffle is a good one.
That's a good Pokemon. Slowpoke, that's another good one. Anywho. What about you, Lou?
Yeah.
Time period or
not
place?
sure.
Got any thoughts?
I'm not sure. I quite fancy Middle Earth. Is that not acceptable?
Well, there are bad things happen there, to be fair. Orcs and stuff. Orcs would be terrifying.
They're scary. No, it's not the orcs. It's the what are they called? I always forget them. The crossbreeds.
You should know. I'm not a Lord of the Rings buff. Well,
Urukai.
yeah.
Uruk-hai.
I was thinking you.
Close enough.
Yeah.
I was close enough. It's been a while since I watched it. Anyway, they're scary, scary people. Well, things.
Beings.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm just not sure.
I mean, it would be cool, to go to the Lord of the Rings place, and that being an elf would be kind of cool. Being brought up as an elf would be cool.
Yeah.
But sadly, that's not actual history. But
Okay.
if you can't,
I can't decide. I think I'd have to go day tripping, and
well, we'll do the ones.
You know,
we'll do
after
the one
I've sampled a few.
for the visit. Well, I'll give you my example. We'll talk about the bonus question afterwards. Mine is feudal Japan, because I thought about a few things, and I thought in a lot of situations I'd either have to go like Vanessa close to the time period we live in now, so I could actually exist or whatever. Because a lot of other I wouldn't want to be born in the Middle Ages. I wouldn't want to be born. I thought, prehistoric. That would be cool.
caveman times.
Yeah, that would be cool. You can
Not so great.
do whatever you want. But
I think your
the odds of
lifespan is about 30.
yeah, I'd be dead already probably. There's a good chance you get your head bashed in with a club by some rival tribe, or that your own tribe would think you're a fucking demon or something and burn you at the stake or whatever. So
I think again, it's not so hot for the ladies. I
yeah.
believe it's customary to bash them over the head and then drag them by the hair to a cave.
I don't think it's quite that bad, but yeah,
Nice.
it probably wasn't the greatest. Although again,
That's
dependent
romance.
on the culture, there probably would have been matriarchal societies in different, places
Of
and
course.
stuff. But yeah, so you think with rose tinted glasses that would be cool. You live off the land, forage through everything, hunt, build cool stone axes and bows. That all sounds cool, but the realness of it is probably not that great. So I thought, instead of just going with a time period close to now, which might be a bit boring, I thought feudal Japan, because first of all, the discipline would probably do me good to a degree. I thought the honor system was really cool because I'd be brought up like that. The honor system would be like, you know, bred into me or whatever. I'd learn it as I grew up or whatever, so it would be natural. It would be a normal thing for me. And plus, you know, you get to like be a cool ass samurai and stuff. I mean, it's like, again, it's rose tinted glasses. I'm sure it's not as good as it sounds, but you know, if being brought up in feudal Japan, I think it'd be kind of cool. And like, I like the Japanese culture, and I like the idea of an honor system, because if you think about it, when all civilization breaks down, all you're left with is your own internal honor system, whatever that may be. So, you know, I think that'd be pretty dope.
I don't know if you've given this enough thought. What about the terrible haircuts?
Yeah.
Well,
But in that culture, that was cool, man. You were hella cool if you had one of those weird top knot things. You know.
I like the one where they shave to halfway up your head, so your forehead's real huge.
Yeah, and then they give you a weird ponytail top knot thing. Yeah. But you know, some people could probably have longer hair to a degree. Like the dude in The Last Samurai, he was allowed to grow his hair out really long and that. So, and it was a dishonor when people cut it. So obviously you're allowed. It must be a style choice to a degree to be able to grow your hair out. So, but I think again, rose tinted glasses. But aside from just picking a time like, oh, I pick the 70s or the, you know, something close to now. Well, I'm not saying that's a bad choice, because it's a rational choice. It's a sensible choice if you think about it, because you probably have an easier life. But I don't know. I think just being invested in that culture and that world, it's so different and foreign from a lot of other places, because Japan closed itself off for such a period of time. And I really like the idea of the honor system and everything, and how, you know, how they treat. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's a bit backwards at times with, you know, seppuku and all that crap, but you know, I think it's cool. I think if you're brought up in that world, it'd be a bit different. So yeah, I think that's pretty cute. Any thoughts on feudal Japan?
I think it'd be kind of cool, but I don't know. Like, again, going with the whole like feminist kind
probably
of thing,
not.
I think
it's not the worst for women though, compared to other cultures.
Another place that's not so hot for the ladies. There's a bit of seen and not heard.
Yeah, that's true, but I don't see how that's different than anywhere else in the world. So,
if I could be a female samurai, I'd be down.
I don't
for
think
that.
you can be, can you?
I think except for one
I'd be Mulan.
particular problem.
Mulan's Chinese, you fuckwit.
Oh shit!
I'd be Mulan.
Right, be the Japanese Mulan.
Yeah.
Japanese type.
That's
Mulan.
racist. So.
See what you did there.
Yeah.
I was going to say, if you want to go girl power, you could always look to the Amazons.
Yeah.
But it depends how partial you are to your boobies.
Why?
Which boobie do you like least?
Why'd you have to chop one off?
That's what the archers did.
Really? Well,
just
don't be an archer.
To improve their bow draw.
Just don't be an archer. Job solved.
I guess it's just like a good thing if like you flat chested then, really, isn't it? Like.
How would that work infection-wise? Surely so many of them would die from infection. They didn't have antibiotics.
They're Amazons. They don't get infections. What are you on about?
They don't get scared.
It's not Wonder Woman. Themyscira doesn't. You know, it's not like that.
They probably have like quite a lot of like natural remedies and stuff that would, in fact, fight off infection and stuff.
Yeah.
So,
they're finding medicine in the Amazon still all the time that we've never come across before.
Yeah, they would have had their things.
They perhaps had the secrets.
And they probably could have used some sort of pure alcohol to stop infection, but it's still entirely possible to get infection. You know, especially back then when hygiene levels weren't as good.
Yeah, but they'd have a complete different immunity to us, though, wouldn't they?
Yeah, maybe.
They'd be immune to completely different things to us. So I guess that, you know, if they're walking around with no shoes, there's going to be times when they're going to get cut the feet and get crap in it. That, you know, they're probably better off at fighting that kind of stuff.
Yeah, to a degree.
I know, like, a cut in the foot's different to, like, a removed breast.
Yeah.
But the point still stands that, you know, they might be slightly different.
Yeah. What about, where would you visit then? That's probably a little bit easier to go. Where would you like to visit? I'll start if you want. I was thinking I'd like to go prehistoric times to check out dinosaurs and stuff, and maybe like early man would be quite interesting.
I heard that was a myth. I heard that was
What,
a myth,
dinosaurs?
and that we never
Dinosaurs are a myth.
existed. No, that we never existed at the same time.
No,
as
we
the
didn't. We
dinosaurs.
didn't. I'm saying like one or the other, not both. The humans and dinosaurs never interacted. Things like
Coexisted.
things like saber-tooths and woolly mammoths and humans did, but not dinosaurs. We never existed at the same time.
I think that's going to be a real short visit.
What to?
Yeah.
Yeah, but I've
Made
got.
short by a massive like.
I'm a time traveler. I've got future tech.
T-Rex.
I could probably be invisible or something.
That wasn't. That's the small print. You didn't mention any of that.
Well, how do you think I got there? It's about the first one was about being
You didn't
born
say that you
there.
had like.
We had to get there somehow.
Yeah, you didn't say that you had like supplies and like all different.
No,
tech
just
and
for the
stuff.
visiting part, not being born there. Being born there, imagine like you're a baby. Well, like literally you're being born there. So like if it was in Japan, you'd be born as a Japanese person. But the time traveler bit is literally you have to travel through time. So you have to be. I don't know. Doctor Who pops up and goes, "Well, come with me," whatever. So that's
I suppose it'd be worth a look.
that's for the bonus question. But I think that'd be pretty cool. Checking out the dinosaurs, the velociraptors, and all that, or early man and the caveman thing. I think that'd be kind of cute.
I'd prefer to check out the herbivores. Cheers.
Yeah, but like I said, you
I'm not gonna go like shake hands with a velociraptor.
can sit in the TARDIS and peek out the door or whatever, whatever floats your boat. But yeah, I thought that'd be kind of cool.
Right.
I mean, there's loads of points in history you could go to, but I thought checking the dinosaurs might be kind of epic. So
I thought that would be that was kind of one of my first ones, to be honest. I thought that would be pretty wicked.
yeah,
I
I mean,
Where else is like?
there's loads of like V could check out Mulan times. So that's one thing. You could go check out some Chinese culture, and I think Mulan's isn't it based like very very loosely on an actual historic
Yeah,
thing,
it's based on a.
or
That
like a
was where
myth
I
or
was
something.
Coming from, okay.
Yeah, well,
Yeah, I think she's.
where you were
like,
coming from was China,
basically
not
this is-
Japan, but yeah.
Ha 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 ha! Very funny. Yeah, I think it's the same like situation as like Pocahontas, because obviously like she was a real person and stuff.
Or
wasn't
based
she?
on,
So-
yeah.
Well, Pocahontas. I don't know if her real name was
Pocahontas was
but
real.
Yeah,
She was like
but
12 though, weren't she?
the Walt Disney cartoon's not like a blow for blow
She's-
account. It's not a documentary. Like talking raccoons
yeah.
are not a thing. I'm sorry to break this to you.
They didn't
but-
talk. It was Grandmother Willow. Thank you.
Was it? I swear the raccoon talked, didn't it?
No, it just
No.
kind of went screeched and like stole.
But it was still
cookies and
smart
annoyed
and
that
Ate
guy.
biscuits.
They're not usually like sentient life forms, raccoons, as far as I'm aware. Anyway, I'm not a scientist, but just putting that out there.
Whatever. I think that. I don't know. I don't know where I'd go. I wouldn't go to Mulan.
What about you, Lou? You got
I
any
think.
thoughts? You could check out, I don't know, Joan of Arc
Last Saturday
or
was pretty good.
last Saturday. Yeah.
It's pretty good lying. I don't know.
Well, it was good. I'd probably quite like to have seen it sober. I could watch.
What about this? The moon
what I got
landings.
to.
You could go see the moon landings. That'd be pretty fucking cool. You're in a time ship, so you should be
Is
alright.
it-
You could watch Neil Armstrong.
Isn't that fake?
Well, maybe. You could. Well, you'd
Oh, yeah, I
know.
forgot
You
about
could
that.
travel back in time to that exact place and point, and then stand there.
On the
yeah, and
moon?
if Neil Armstrong's not there, you could be like, "Fuck you, Neil. I'm the first.
I'll be
Knew
waiting
it.
for
I'm the
ages.
first person on the moon. Fuck you."
Yeah, but you've got to be real careful about that kind of thing. That if you're only visiting and stuff, you can't do anything different because then you're gonna mess the
Yeah,
whole
but no one's
future
gonna.
up.
That's a fine
Yeah.
point. That's a fine
That is
point.
true. The butterfly
You could
effect.
become your own grandfather.
You gotta be careful.
Ugh.
Like Fry.
That's like taking inbred to a whole new level.
I've
How would that
seen you
work?
making eyes at grandma.
I think not.
Well, who are we talking
I think
about?
I'm all good.
Let's establish.
Well, you
that.
can't be your own grandfather,
let's
can you,
make
you
it.
fuckwit? So who do you think she's talking about?
There's something I need to tell
Oh,
you.
well, in that case, maybe you can be. I don't know. Yeah. Guess you learn new things every
Me
day.
and Mum have a secret.
Yeah.
But yeah, you could upset a lot of things.
Yeah.
It's like the old would you go back and kill Hitler if you
No,
could?
because the problem with that is the Germans would have been more efficient, probably, if without Hitler within certain time periods. So unless you're like know all about the Second World War and when the perfect times are, then you could make things worse, and then you come back and everybody be fucking Heil Hitler in and giving salutes and stuff, and he'd be like a martyr or whatever.
And blonde.
It might be a different situation where, like, you know, they've.
I don't
you
mean
know,
that in
Hitler
particular.
Oh no,
But
of course, but it's the same for anyone. That,
Yeah, the butterfly effect. Yeah.
Yeah.
One stray comment.
Yeah.
And
But the moon would be all right.
you know,
no one would
things
see you
change.
up there, would they? Because you can't.
Yeah, but what if you put your footprint?
That
on
would be true.
Moon, and they actually go up there and go.
But don't do it in-
Like,
Whoa.
where's this? What's this like Nike trainer being
Yeah,
up
don't-
there for? Like, you know,
Don't put it in the. Don't put it in the
like,
same place.
what's this dead body in Nike trainers doing up here? I don't think you can go to the moon in your Nikes.
Yeah, but it wouldn't get discovered. It wouldn't get discovered for many a year.
No. I'll have you know, we've got future,
future
futuristic.
tech.
Yeah, thank you very much. So if I want to wear my
Sorry.
futuristic
It'd be like
Nikes,
it'd
I'm
be
gonna
one of
wear my
those
futuristic
mysteries. Maybe
Nikes.
time travelers already have been here. There's like, supposed to be things where like, I think like a gun got found inside of a mountain, and there's supposedly no way it could have got there, or there's something like that. Something that was.
There's
No way it supposedly
There's a
supposedly
crazy
could have got there.
piece of hieroglyphics that they've found that shows modern vehicles on it.
Yeah.
I think they've debunked it by now, but it's the way that it's chipped away, but it looks crazy. There's a helicopter on it.
It depends whether you
I've
believe
seen that
in
because there was something
the
on
conspiracy
Netflix about
theories
that.
and that.
Yeah.
There was a
I mean,
massive
people
thing about
reckon
it. I saw.
it's just by chance, but look it up, it's
It's like
crazy.
rockets and stuff, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Like they'd depicted like rockets and like inventions that we've got these days and that kind of stuff.
But for example, going and seeing dinosaurs, as long as you don't step on a beetle or something, or you know, something like that, as long.
It's really hard not to
how are you
step
gonna
on
know?
a
All right, then
beetle
well,
in the
don't get
jungle.
out the TARDIS or
How
whatever
ma-
you're in, the time ship.
What if the TARDIS lands on
Don't,
something?
it hovers. If you've never seen Doctor Who, it hovers. It'll be fine. Hover above the ground and have a look at a freaking.
But what if that then
T-Rex
blows
or
a
something.
bug away, and that bug is the one that it gets pushed
It's the
into a
TARDIS.
predator's
It's
path,
smart.
and that
It'll
bug
know
gets
if there's
it?
bugs about. It's smart. But so yeah, go have a look. You'll probably be all right there. And there's not going to be any evidence left. God knows how many hundreds of thousands of years later. So, you know.
But that said, if all you're going to do is look out the window, you might as well just watch Jurassic Park.
Yeah, it's not the same, is it? As seeing a real one.
Just
You could be
wait-
like a few
just
feet
wait for them
away.
to get like some new tech out, like
Oh,
they
Right, then.
improve the Oculus or
We
something.
forgot about our future tech.
Yeah, you could go as like a
So
hologram.
we can probably become non-corporeal.
Exactly. You'd be like Shadowcat from X-Men. You'd be all walking through shit. You know, you don't have to touch everything. So, but
I guess so.
I think it'd be pretty cool. So where have we decided that you guys are going?
I don't think we
Whatever.
have.
Can we just not tag along with you?
I'm going to see the dinosaurs.
Yeah. Make
sure
you
you
can
don't
go
do
wherever
anything
the fuck you
stupid.
want. Vanessa's going to go fuck her own grandma, and Lou's
Yeah.
Lou's going to put dead bodies on the moon by the sounds of it. So, you know,
in Nike.
in Nikes for some reason. It's a weird Nike fetish. I don't know.
Fine choices, all fine choices.
Exactly.
Maybe.
I'm glad we've narrowed this down. The future is safe in our hands. So, and the
I don't know.
past.
I'd probably I don't know. I'd quite be happy to stay near this era. I think going back into, I don't know, say Victorian days is kind of.
Well, I
kind of
didn't specify.
seedy
Maybe you
with
could go into the
illness and
future.
syphilis.
Maybe you could go have a look at the future.
Oh, but that's playing with fire as well.
Yeah, or if you bring
It's
back
like
the
whole,
knowledge.
if someone said to you, you know, I know how you're going to die and when you're going
Well,
to
then
die.
why would say that? That would be so cruel. Oh, you're from the past.
A
You,
time
you're gonna
traveller!
die in 3
To,
weeks.
like, not-
Fuck you. Fuck you, bruh.
Oh no! Yeah, but what would you know? Would you rather it happen just unknowing, or would you rather them last 3 weeks to go off and, you know, fill out your bucket
Well, then
list?
don't tell
Spend time with
me.
your
Don't
family.
fucking tell me, you prick.
I think
That's the point.
I wouldn't.
Would you rather like to have the last 3 weeks of your life?
What are you
worth
talking
of
about? No,
9
you
to
go
5
somewhere where
job?
you're definitely going to be dead. You go 300 years in the future, and then you don't go to look up history. You just have a little potter about the town and see what it looks like in the future.
What if you'd have to go somewhere that like you've got no connections to?
Yeah, well, you wouldn't.
Like, 'cause what if you just stumbled across some? What if you became some massive like icon or something? And,
Why
like,
would you? Oh, there's a
Not that you
person
would, but-
walking the street wearing weird old clothes. Let's make them an icon.
You're such an idiot. I think we're getting our. Oh, and I'm about to make a Nathan then.
Our
I think we're getting muddled.
We're getting too big for our
gonna say-
boots or whatever it was. Too clever for our
Too
boots.
clever
Too
for
clever
boots.
for our
That's
boots.
it.
Goddamn clever boots. No, I'm just gonna it doesn't even matter anymore. No matter what I say, you're gonna ridicule me.
It doesn't
so
matter.
Whatever.
carry on.
I've made my
I'll
decision.
just sit here in silence.
Well, you've made yours, so you're gonna
I
be
haven't.
doing grandma, and you're gonna be on the moon. Okay, cool.
You
I'm
decided
glad.
this
I'm
one,
glad we've
mate.
come to a consensus.
I'm okay with it.
Alrighty.
How about we swap and you can do grandma?
No, I'm fine with the dinosaurs. Thanks. I think with that statement we'll leave it there.
My communications are down, and I can't call them back.
Wow, that's this week's Recon Cast done and dusted. I hope you enjoyed our shenanigans and tomfoolery. And feel free to join in with our nonsense by posting your ideas for topic 3 in the comments. And as well as a name check, your topic could feature in an upcoming episode. Anywho, if you enjoyed this video, please like, comment, share and subscribe for more BS of a similar nature. Thank you and goodbye.